There's a huge downfall with these new Evolve 70 and Evolve 90 speakers that EV just announced. And I hate being the bad guy, but I got to do what I got to do here because it seems like most every other influencer is basically just praising them and just regurgitating the pre-written commercial that Electro Voice sent them. Or they're going online and talking about it and they don't even know what they're talking about. They're claiming that these speakers will handle 1,000 people and shit. I got clips too. You'll see. All right. It's just crazy to me. And you got to know the downfalls before you go and spend all this money. And lucky for you guys, I don't give a shit. I'll flame these speakers all I want. I don't care. I don't want them. I would never use them. And this is why. Simply put, they're two-way speakers. They're not three-way speakers. I can't DJ with systems that aren't three-way because it just doesn't work like that. Like, you can't get on the mic with these things and also be loud with the music. And there's lots of times where I need to do that. Like intros, you know? You got 200 people, 300 people, you're doing introductions, you got the music bumping, people coming out, then you got to get on the mic and you got to be able to cut through all that music. And you literally can't do that with two-way systems. It's not how they're designed. You'll overload the system. Facts are facts. Now, if you don't know what I mean, two-way systems essentially means it's got a bass and then it's got the 8 drivers, 8 4.7-inch drivers in the column. And basically the bass handles the bass and then the drivers, the 8 drivers, work together to handle both the high and the mid frequencies. A three-way system has separate drivers for the high and the mid frequencies, right? So they only handle mid and only handle high. And that is such a huge advantage for clarity, for throw, so it throws further, and so it can handle vocals like you're emceeing on the mic over top of music. I'm sure these new Evolves bump, but you're not going to have the same clarity you would with a three-way system, and you're not going to be able to get on the mic without peaking these things. I guarantee you. Let's start with the Evolve 70. For $100 more bucks, the LD Maui 44 G2 will crush this thing. The Maui 44 is a three-way system because it has 12 3.5-inch drivers just for mid-range, and then you have 4 1-inch drivers for the highs, and on top of that has a 4-inch voice coil in the 15-inch sub, which compare that to the 70 that only has a 3-inch voice coil, and this is all with the exact same coverage. It still is 25 degrees, so you're not like, spraying sound on the ceiling and all that. So they still tightened up the coverage so you're focusing the sound more so it has longer throw, but it's with a three-way system. The Evolve 70 on paper has 1 more decibel SPL, 132 versus 133, but I would argue better bang for your buck to get the Maui. I mean, what do I know? Now, there's currently no real competition for the Evolve 90, but like a comparable setup that would crush that would basically be like an RCF NXL 14, which I did a video on right here, and you pair that with the 18AX sub and full three-way system, it will eat it for breakfast. All day, every category across the board, all day. It's going to be more money though, but you get what you pay for here. But my biggest problem with the Evolve 90 is on the website of EV, it says it can handle up to 500 people. And some people are even saying it can handle more than that they are under-promising.
134 SPL. To give you an idea how much that is, the ETX tops, which I've done 1,200 kids with, is 135 SPL. So this is super aggressive. And Electro Voice is saying up to 500. They're under promising on that. I think you can play for much larger crowds.
Like, bro, you can't be serious. You literally can't be serious. First of all, you're comparing this to a three-way system, your tops and your subs. The ETX, they're all three-way systems. So you're not comparing apples to apples. You're just saying that, oh, it's got close to the same SPL, so I must be able to handle the same amount of people. It's the same thing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're misleading people. People are going to spend thousands of dollars on a credit card for this thing and be disappointed when they go to do a big school dance. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just not going to handle that much. I honestly think the whole handling 500 people thing is subjective. It's kind of like, all right, well, what does handle mean? What does that mean? Does it mean you feel the bass? It's a full, like, oh my God, sounds amazing all night? Or is it just loud enough? Just made it. It worked. People can kind of hear it. Didn't sound great, but people can hear it. I'd argue this probably sounds a little better when it's at a lower volume, not like maxing out at the 134 decibels, They even got my boy Seth. Look at this.
These new Evolves might just change my whole perspective on this speaker series. On paper, these things look like they're going to absolutely crush the competition, and I can't wait to try them out and hear it for myself.
On paper, Seth. On paper. On paper, they're two-way, okay? And you know it, Seth. But seriously, I'm happy to argue with anybody in the comments below. If you disagree with me, comment below. Talk to me. And to all those influencers out there that are doing all these posts, I hope you're disappointed with the free set of Evolves you get. I hope they come in, you're all excited to use them, you bring them to a wedding, you're like, damn, they're not as good as I thought they'd be.